why don't they just delete Battle Royale in Warzone? That might sound crazy, but a viewer, Squizmaster, mentioned this idea to me in a stream yesterday, and the more I think about it, the more I think it might be able to solve a lot of Call of Duty's problems. Now, before you make up your mind on it, hear out the whole video, and let's just watch this clip together, because I think this is something that a lot of people who watch my videos maybe don't think about. That this is a lot of people's experience of Warzone.
Reloading.
Now, generally, we don't get to see players like that because people who stream the game and make content generally play the game quite a lot, so don't have that experience. And because those players don't get any kills, you're also not likely to be able to spectate them or see them in kill cams or anything like that. But I think a lot of people genuinely go through that experience every time they load up Warzone, and they must be absolutely sick of it. But anyway, back to the main point. So I made a video a couple of days ago just talking about how one of the big problems, the big crisis that Call of Duty seems to be heading towards, specifically with Season 4, which launches tomorrow when I'm recording this, is that there's too many playlists and there's already not enough people in those playlists in order to be able to have a good experience. Depending on which mode you want to play, you'll often end up with long waiting times, or you'll end up with a completely imbalanced lobby with some players who are really, really good and some players who are terrible in it. Or you might end up with people with bad connection, so you end up with lag and stuff like that, which is always really annoying. Or if you're on console and you want to use that amazing feature they added to avoid cheaters, where you can play ranked with crossplay off, so it's only on console, you can't because you can't find a game. I was talking in that video about how I spent half an hour searching for a game on PlayStation in the middle of the day on a bank holiday in the UK and still couldn't get a game. So why not just delete Battle Royale? Now this sounds crazy because most people I think would agree that Battle Royale is probably the most popular mode. Most people, when they play Call of Duty, will probably hop into the normal Battle Royale modes, whether that's solos, duos, trios, quads, when there is trios anyway. And then obviously there's groups of players that want to play Plunder, or they play Boot Camp, or Casual, or they play Ranked, or whatever the limited time mode is at the moment. It's kind of split up across all of those. And for the sake of this video, I'm considering Rebirth Resurgence, or whatever the Resurgence map is in any given season, that to be normal Battle Royale just for those maps. Because remember, with Season 4, we are getting Resurgence Ranked and we're getting Resurgence Casual as well, which is kind of what that whole video is about. Go watch it if you want to. But basically, we've got a problem where the entire player base, which has been dwindling for quite a long time and had a bit of a boost with Season 3 and Verdansk coming back, but is now heading back towards the same low numbers it was on before. The player base is pretty small right now, and they are split up over a huge number of different modes. Like, if you compare the number of people playing Call of Duty on Xbox, where you can see the most played games, you might notice some weirdness in that chart, where things like Grand Theft Auto or FIFA actually have two different entries because it's split over the two different generations. And then Call of Duty is all wrapped up into just one entry, not just people who are on Xbox One versus Xbox Series S or X, but also the people who are playing Warzone, the people who are playing Campaign, the people who are playing any Call of Duty mode are all wrapped up within that just one Call of Duty entry. So while Call of Duty as a whole is still very popular, each individual mode is struggling a little bit. Now, in the past, to sort of remedy this problem, to make it so each playlist has its own population, that it can have skill-based matchmaking and good connection matchmaking and all of like low wait times and all of that kind of stuff. In the past, what they've done is removed a lot of the extra mode. So they've removed things like Plunder, or we've had seasons where there's no Ranked, or when there was lots of different maps in Resurgence, they sort of put it into a rotating playlist, so you didn't have one playlist for each map. Instead, you had one big playlist that had all of the maps, just to try and encourage people to all join the same playlist. But for a lot of people, this is super frustrating because a lot of people want to play Plunder. They don't want to go and be forced to play another mode just because Plunder doesn't have enough players in it right now. And similarly, if they got rid of, say, Casual or Boot Camp, I don't think a lot of the players who play those modes would then be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll go play the main mode now. I think they'll just stop playing altogether because that's the only thing keeping them in the game right now. And obviously, I'm speaking for a lot of people here right now. It might be different for individuals, but I think there's a lot of people who play casual Warzone right now and probably wouldn't want to just be going to play the main modes because of the experience of that guy we saw right at the beginning of the video. So how would deleting the main playlist, the main Battle Royale playlist, help? The way it would work is this. You delete the whole main playlist, so there is no Rebirth, Resurgence playlist, there's no Battle Royale playlist for solos, duos, trios, and quads. Instead, you essentially only have Plunder, Casual, and Ranked, and you have that on all of the different maps. Plunder would just stay as it is, because like I said, I think there's people who play Plunder who don't play anything else, and I don't think they really affect the other playlists all that much at all. Casual would also kind of stay how it is. It would be the casual experience. If you want to have some fun messing around, trying out different weapons, maybe doing some of the Easter eggs and things like that, casual mode would exist and the bots are in it, so you can get lots of kills on bots, but you will have some fun firefights as well because there are real players in that. I think that, again, can kind of carry on as it is normally. Because you're mostly up against bots as well, I don't think they need to change casual to being like solos, duos, trios, and quads. I think quads is absolutely fine for that. Maybe on casual Resurgence or something like that. I'm not sure if that works better with quads or trios. But I think one playlist for each type of game, one for Resurgence and one for the main game, with casual mode on is absolutely fine. The only thing I'd really change about casual mode is if they could make the bots a bit more interesting, like make them a bit smarter, make it so they can do things like, you know, driving vehicles or maybe choosing to go up to the top of a building and snipe instead of always just running at you, throwing a grenade and going prone. But anyway, all of that stuff pretty much untouched. The big difference is ranked. I think the main mode, the main Battle Royale mode, or the main Resurgence mode, and ranked should just be combined. So there would be ranked solo, duo, trios, and quads. There would be ranked on Resurgence, whatever team sizes are. Now, you know what? I haven't actually played Resurgence at all, I don't think, since Season 3 launched. I don't even know what playlists there are for that. But all of those would now be ranked. And what this would mean is, essentially the game would be the normal version of the game. I think they should also get rid of all of those silly ranked restrictions, you know, where they're like, oh, you can't use these weapons, or you can't use these kill streaks, or you can't use these tacticals or lethals. I think just, if it's in the game, it should be fun and it should be fine to use. Maybe people should take ranked a little bit less seriously. It's not like you're competing in the Olympics or something. Just have the normal game, but with the ranked things of, you know, you being in a league, you being in a division, you gaining or losing SR as you play. Because something that was pointed out even before ranked became a thing in Warzone, when people wanted it, something that a lot of people like me who kind of support skill-based matchmaking think it's a good thing that most matches should be fair and you should be in matches against other people who are the same level as you, is that ranked has always been a thing in Warzone. You just couldn't see it before. You did have a skill rating, it would go up and down in your games, but when you were playing the normal modes, or when you're playing the normal modes right now, it's just hidden from you. You can't see it. But for me, when I'm playing ranked, I'm not trying to get to top 250 or iridescent or anything like that. But I do enjoy seeing that SR go up and down. I like the changes they've made recently where you get more SR if you kill a better player. I like being able to see when you kill a player or when you get killed by someone, being able to see what rank that player was. You know, it feels a little bit less bad if you get killed by a player who's a much higher rank because you're like, oh yeah, well, those people are obviously really good. Or if you manage to take out somebody who's a much higher rank than you, that feels absolutely awesome. That's really cool. And it's nice to know that, where in a normal game of Battle Royale, you just never notice it at all. It's also nice to see yourself go up the leagues, to see yourself going up to divisions. People have complained for a long while about skill-based matchmaking, that you don't get a sense of progression. You can improve at the game, but the game will feel the same to you because you're now just up against harder opponents. Well, if the main mode of Call of Duty was ranked, you would always be able to see, like, hey, I was in silver for a long while, now I'm getting into gold matches, or now I'm getting into platinum or diamond or whatever it is. There would also be a massive bonus for the ranked players in that they would now have different playlists. Because everybody who's playing the normal modes would now be playing ranked, you'd have way more people in them, so that would mean there'd be enough people to have solo ranked, which is something I've wanted for a long while. I think that would be awesome. Or duos ranked, or quads ranked, as well as the normal trios ranked. And because there's so many more people in the lobbies, you would have a proper ranked system where if you're in gold, you would be up against other gold players. I'm sure it would still struggle once you get up to like Crimson and Iridescent and Top 250, that they'd all be mixed up a little bit. But right now, it sucks that you can have silver players in the same game as Crimson players. You know, I saw that in the video yesterday. That sucks for those silver players. That's absolutely terrible. It would be nice if there were enough people to make the ranking system actually work. But there is one obvious downside to this system. There's one obvious downside to getting rid of it, and that's that a lot of people find ranked quite stressful. Having that little SR counter in the top right telling you if you're doing well or not can make a bad game feel even worse. You know, if you're playing the normal mode and you die straight away, it doesn't really matter. You've just wasted time, but you'll get back into another game. You can reset and keep going. When you're playing ranked, you know, right now I'm Platinum 3, trying to get to Diamond before the end of the season, which is tomorrow, so I think it's looking unlikely now. But it's absolutely gutting if we have a really bad game where we land, get killed, all die in the gulag, and then I lose 55 SR, which could be everything I gained from a decent game just before. That can be a little bit heartbreaking. And I can see how some people probably don't play ranked because they don't want that. They don't want to be stressing out about their rank. They don't want to be stressing out about losing SR. Well, I think those people could just keep playing the game anyway because they could just ignore it. You could even have a setting in the game where it just hides the ranked stuff from you. So it never tells you what league you're in. It never tells you your SR or anything like that. So you can just play the game as normal, enjoy the game as normal. Other people still get the benefit of you being in their matches, but you don't have to stress out about it. You don't have to worry about it. And you could just toggle it, you know, turn it back on whenever you want to see where you're up to if you decide you do care about it. And if you want to try stuff out without risking your rank, you can just play casual because that's kind of what casual's for. You know, casual is a place where anyone can go in and have some fun, play some games without having to worry too much about how well they do. As always, let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.